Now remember, I don't want you to I don't want you to apply any conscious processing power to figure out what is going on with the gun. I want you just to recognize something isn't right, apply an intuitive fix. The two things that you may initially process this as would be a slide lock reload, because there will be a different recoil impulse with the gun. The slide will go to the rear, but it will not slam all the way back forward. You don't consciously think about this, but when the slide reciprocates to the rear, there's a little bit of a leverage flip, the pivot point being right about here, where the gun attempts to go like this, and then as the mass of the slide goes back forward, then it wants to rotate back. You're not thinking about this, it's just happening, and your mind is processing, oh, that's what normal feels like. Once you've shot the gun often enough, you will get to where you recognize when that slide reciprocates to the rear, but it doesn't try to lunge back forward. This is typical with a slide lock reload, or meaning your magazine is empty and you've encountered slide lock. Thus, that might be one way that you intuitively process this. If you're in the middle of a string of fire, you feel a different recoil impulse, and you notice that the slide is almost fully locked to the rear, you may think, aha, that's a slide lock reload. Refer back to the previous video on slide lock reloads, and this is one way that you might respond to what you perceive as being a slide lock reload, not realizing at this point in time that it is a double feed. Uh-oh, the magazine did not drop. It didn't drop because that top round in the magazine is hung up on the feed ramp like we just discussed. Or you may recognize it has a dead trigger. It went squish. It didn't go click instead of bang. It just was a little squishy, or it may have had a little click, but not like a striker or hammer falling. If you perceive it as being a failure to fire, then you may intuitively use the slap rack. Uh-oh, the rack didn't do right. It didn't fix the problem. And now you realize, oh crud, I have a double feed.